Hey guys. Okay, so it is 14 DPO. I'm going to go ahead and take a Wandfo and a Very Quick, since from Dollar Tree. Let me go ahead and dip these, and then I'll let you know where I've been. You know the drama. I'll let you know where I've been the past couple of days that I did not upload. This takes 3 drops. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's moving. And then the Wandfo. And this dips for 3. Make sure it's there. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's moving. Okay, so if you have been around a little while, you'll know that a week ago Eddie's grandfather was in the hospital, and we went to Gainesville, and you know, he had taken a bad turn, but then he bounced back. Well, on Monday, let's see, I tested Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday it was going to be a later test because I went to Epcot that morning with my friend to celebrate her birthday. And I'm in the carpool lane waiting to pick up the kids, and I get a call from Eddie that everyone is being called in, like, to say goodbye. His grandfather's, the oxygen in his blood was at 56%, and the nurse who ran the test said, no, I must have done something wrong, and did it again, and yes, it was still at 56%. So he was on, he had the oxygen in his nose, but they put a mask that was forcing air. I don't know if it's a CPAP or if that's called something else, but I know it as a CPAP, like for sleep apnea. And, you know, a monitor that if he fell below 14 breaths per minute, it would sound an alarm, and it was constantly sounding the alarm because he wasn't breathing. He was slipping in and out of consciousness. They moved him to ICU. And, you know, Eddie got the call, get here now. So, sorry, there's a bug. He called the charge nurse at the hospital, and he said, tell me what's going on. And the lady said, I've been Mr. Joe's nurse for 2 years. I've never seen him like this. If you want to say goodbye, you need to get here now. So he calls me as I'm in the line picking up the girls. And I said, okay, I'm on my way. And I took the girls to my mom's, got home long enough to throw clothes in a bag, and left, and drove the 3.5, 4 hours to Gainesville. Took longer because by the time we got through like Orlando to Orlando, it was 5 o'clock traffic. So it took us a little while to get there. So we stayed there Monday night and Tuesday night. And they said Monday night, his doctor said he's not likely to make it through the night. He goes, I don't want to sugarcoat it for you. I want to be honest with you. So Eddie's grandmother and 2 of his aunts stayed in the waiting room, the ICU waiting room, the entire night. They didn't leave the hospital because they wanted to be there in case something happened. We stayed at a hotel that's right there. They offer special rates if you have someone in the hospital so that you can stay nearby. So, excuse me, we stayed there. We got to the hospital on Tuesday, and he was a little more alert. He could say a couple words, but not like full sentences. So we still weren't comfortable leaving that day. So we stayed another night, and that's, I think we were able to get his grandmother out of the hospital and to a restaurant to eat dinner. And she was thinking about maybe going home, and I said, you know, we're going to get a hotel. If we get a double room, so it's the 2 beds, will you please stay with us? And she did. So we were able to get her out of the hospital and into the hotel to sleep that night because she hadn't slept much the night before. And we get to the hospital. It was a whole thing, man. We get to the hospital yesterday morning, and they did not let us know that they were moving his room. And I understand that he had stabilized more, and they needed the ICU bed for someone who was actually emergent. That's fine. It's not a problem. But let somebody know. And in all of his records, it says, you know, anything that happens, we don't care what time of night, let us know. Nobody let her know. Excuse me. So Wednesday morning, we get a call from Eddie's aunt because someone from ICU, I don't know we got some miscommunication there. But they said he's been having trouble with his knee, and they were going to draw the fluid off of his knee. But they didn't, he was supposed to have gone to dialysis first thing in the morning. They didn't even know he was supposed to be going to dialysis. So it was a whole thing. And at that point, they still didn't tell us that they had changed his room. So we get up to ICU, and there are 4 people in there, like, ripping sheets off of things, and he's not in there. We don't know where he is. So we turn and we look at nurses who are just looking at us, and nobody's saying anything to anybody. And I'm just finally like, where's my grandfather? So they're like, yeah, I don't know. Who's your grandfather? So it was a whole thing. And when we finally did find out where he was and we got to his room, Eddie and I had like a good 20-minute conversation with his doctor. And his grandfather's doing much better today. But we're calling, Eddie's calling and talking to some different hospice providers. Vitas is who we used with my grandmother, but unfortunately they don't operate out of Gainesville, and that's where his grandfather is in the hospital. So he called three different places last night, but all of their, I think my dog is crying. I don't know, the people he needed to talk to, they were already gone for the night. So we don't know if we're going to do hospice or palliative care. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's on dialysis, and the doctor said that hospice won't come in unless he decides to stop doing dialysis, but palliative care is that in between. I don't know, we need someone to advocate for his grandfather, and we need someone to advocate on behalf of the family, because we're being told things. One person said, oh yeah, the CT scan showed that he had a blood clot in his small intestines, which is causing a blockage. And his doctor yesterday, when I brought that up, said, what are you talking about? And pulled up the CT report, and he's like, nothing on here says anything about a blood clot or a blockage. So we're getting misinformation right and left. There have been multiple times where he has had food sitting on a tray right there, and he does not have the strength to feed himself, and nobody fed him. And they bring the tray and then they take the full tray away, and the poor thing is starving and nobody is feeding him. It's just, we're so frustrated. So since they're 4 hours away and there's not a lot that we can do, you know, Eddie has to be here, he has to work. So he's trying to get a hold of hospice or palliative care and see what we can do, that route. But he was good enough yesterday that we felt that we could go home. We are going to go back on Saturday with the girls because, you know, the girls haven't seen him in a couple months since they came here for a day. So they want to see him. Unfortunately, we won't be able to stay in that hotel that has great rates because it's in Gainesville, and the Gator game this weekend is in Gainesville, and all the hotels are going to be booked up. So that room that we get for $63 is now over $200. So we won't be able to stay, but we're going to get up and go early and stay the whole day in the hospital and visit with him so the girls can see him. Let's check this test. I don't even know how long I've been talking, but I mean, clearly these tests are done, right? Sorry, but that's where I've been. I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded the past couple of days. Yeah, I don't see anything on this. I didn't even test when I was, I took, oh, all right, I got it. I took nothing with me, nothing. I didn't take the camera. I didn't take any because I just didn't care, you know. At that moment, I just didn't care. Yep, nothing on either of these, so. I really felt good about this month too, and I was hoping that since I hadn't tested in a few days and I hadn't thought about it, that maybe I'm trying to open this stupid thing. Why are these so hard to open? I'll break a nail. I just wanted to open it and get a view without this stupid shadow, but I don't see anything. See if that's any better. Okay, well, I still haven't started my period, so if I don't know, I'll be back on here tomorrow either to be testing or to let you know if my period started. It may be later in the day because Eddie and I might go to Food and Wine tomorrow depending on if it's raining or not. We were going to have a Food and Wine date tomorrow night, just the two of us, but my parents had the kids all week and they were going to take my kids tomorrow night so we could go on a Food and Wine date, and I don't want to ask them to do that. Plus Friday night's going to be really crowded. And Monday morning when Christy and I went, it was great. There were no lines for anything. So we were able to get right through and get all the things we wanted really quickly. So I think it would be easier if we just went early, you know, drop the kids off and go. So if it's not raining tomorrow, that's what we might do. It's been raining torrentially around here lately. People are getting flooded out who did not have issues during the hurricane. So it's just been constant. It hasn't been huge, like massive downpours. It's just been constant since Saturday. All right, well, sorry this has been a long one, I'm sure, and thank you for all of the prayers. I know when I posted over on Facebook, I got so many prayers, and people have just been absolutely wonderful, so thank you. I appreciate it. We are feeling it. Thank you so much. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, follow me over there, because then you'll always know what's going on if I happen to not post for a while. I always try to update over there so that I'm not just leaving you hanging. All right, thanks so much, guys, and I will catch you back here tomorrow.